So today is day 34. I've overcome a lot throughout this entire process, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. As I've been bringing you along throughout my days, I've noticed my videos have taken on a little bit more of an artistic aspect, which I've really enjoyed. But you guys didn't log on here to watch me talk about YouTube. Today I want to talk about burnout. It happens to us all. We are going down whatever path we want to. We are pursuing our goals and dreams, and then all of a sudden, a little bump in the road throws us off, and we start feeling overwhelmed. We start feeling like everything is too much, and then we burn out. We stop doing things completely. Maybe we recede back into a depression. It happens to all of us at some point or another, whether it takes many, many years for us to get to that point or day 34. Although wouldn't say that I've necessarily burnt out yet. Yesterday I actually had a small feeling where during the overthinking production, I started getting in my head and starting to think this is really difficult. I'm having a hard time. I even mentioned something in the video yesterday talking about how I was overthinking the video about overthinking, and I made 6 videos before I even posted the one that never happens. And you start thinking to yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't have the energy for this. Well, stick around and I'll tell you how I pushed through that feeling of burnout. First, I'm going to finish my tea. So burnout is something that I have experienced a lot in my life. Actually, at one point, I was pre-medical. I had been captured by the illusions of making $500,000 a year, shadowing heart surgeons and spending times in the hospital. And that's really when I first experienced the biggest amount of burnout in my entire life. I got into college and I was doing these classes. I was doing organic chemistry and everything else that goes along with it. And I enjoyed the science, don't get me wrong, but I was always looking down the pipeline at that big dollar number, that amount that I could make each year. $500,000 starting salary. I could get more as I kept working, and I would do all of that and it would be great. That's the first big lesson that I ever learned about burnout. Your goal has to be in the right direction. When I was thinking about all this money I was going to make, that wasn't motivating enough for me. Yes, I care about money, and it's something that motivates me to do things as I go along through life, but spending hours and hours and hours each day to become a heart surgeon just to make $500,000 a year, it wasn't worth it to me. So when things got difficult, when the rubber needed to hit the road and I needed to put time in to make it there, it wasn't motivating enough. And I realized that's not what I wanted to do. If someone offered me $500,000 to do YouTube or $500,000 to be a heart surgeon, everything in my body would have not taken the heart surgeon. It would have taken something else. If you would have offered me $500,000 to stock shelves, I probably would have chosen that. It has nothing to do with how much money the job had and the long-term happiness that I was going to experience. It needed to come from something else other than money, because eventually money isn't enough. For some people, money's enough their entire lives. But for me, I quickly found out that it wasn't. So I had to make some decisions on what was my goal? How did I intend to get there? And if that goal isn't strong enough, you're going to burn out so much faster. The way I like to think of it is, let's say you have a goal and that's what's driving you. If your goal is a weak goal, if it's a really dried out goal, burnout is literal fire. It'll come in and set paper on fire like nobody's business. Your goal needs to be strong enough so that it doesn't catch fire as the burnout gets stronger and stronger. Your goal needs to be twigs soaked in water, something that will never burn, something that will continue to stay there even if it gets hot. That's what your goal needs to be. And with YouTube, with YouTube, my goal is to change as many lives as I possibly can. And it doesn't have to be in a huge way. It can be in very little ways as time goes on. But That's my goal. It's large, it has purpose, and it's driving me forward. When it comes to burnout, if your goal doesn't drive you forward, and money for a lot of people won't do it, because money, it disappears when you move on or when you die or whatever you consider happens next. Money no longer matters. It might if you're trying to build generational wealth, but if you're just looking at it as money, it's never going to be enough. For me, YouTube and my videos and the things that I put out will continue to help people for years after I'm gone. That's my goal. That's what I'm hoping. I want to leave a lasting impact here on humanity that will just continue on for, well, as long as things continue on. Maybe that's a really high sighted goal, but it's enough. It drives me and it gives me the energy to push my way through the heaviness of burnout that seems to try to drag me down. It's what gets me out here in the cold, standing in nature. I know that someone's going to see this video and it's going to help them at some point. It might not be now, it might be in the future. So all I want to say is keep up the hard work and set those goals a little higher and make sure they have power behind them. I am going to keep being me and I'm going to keep showing up. But I want you to keep being you because you're the best at it. I'll see you tomorrow.